Good morning, teacher. This video is to show you or to explain to you some aspects regarding my lesson planning. In order to give you a context, in case you have forgotten, I designed a lesson planning for ninth graders. They are between 13 and 15 years old, and they study at Fundación Colegio Emilio Valenzuela. The problem that I identified was that they don't have a really good relationship among them. They have been together since they were in seventh grade. Before, they had a really good relationship, but because of some issues and some arguments that they had between each other, the group divided. So this is slowing down the process, the learning process, because sometimes they're like, I don't want to work with her, I don't care. So some teachers are really concerned because these problems are being reflected in their grades and in their performance, in not only in English class but in some other classes. So okay, in terms of my lesson planning, the unit that I'm going to work with is modal verbs. They have already studied the modal verbs, and especially the modal verb must, to give strong advice and to define rules. So the general topic of the lesson will be must for given advice. And my goal is that students will use appropriately the modal verb must to express advice. My terminal objective is that by the end of the class, students will be able to define a set of cohabitation rules using the modal verb must. And in order to do this, I define three enabling objectives. The first one is that students will review the correct use of the modal verb must. I wrote review because they already worked on it. I mean, that's what my teacher told me, what my head teacher told me. So they have already worked on it, but they have some they don't understand it very well yet, so that's why we're going to review. Then they're going to learn or they're going to work on some vocabulary regarding conviviality because as they're ninth graders, they are most like A2.2, almost B1. So there are a lot of vocabulary that they don't know. So if I want them to define a set of cohabitation rules, it's going to be really important for them to know the vocabulary. Otherwise, they're not going to do it. And finally, they will use appropriately the modal verb must for giving strong advice. More than a strong advice is to define rules. They're going to define some rules that are going to work for all of them in order to create a really good class environment. Well, the keywords are modal verbs, community, cooperative and collaborative work, and teamwork. What they are going to use is a video beam, some pieces of paper, tape, markers, and a video. Okay, so this lesson plan has three stages. The first one is the warm up. So in the warm up, the students are going to watch a video regarding, it's just like a 2 minute video in which it is explained the term the conviviality and how this term conviviality works for every society. So the task of the teacher is to ask questions regarding the video and also solve some questions regarding vocabulary. What their students are going to do is that they have to watch the video and then they have to give their opinions regarding the definition of the video. So, what do they think about conviviality and what do they think about uh, their own conviviality in group? It's going to be a teacher-student interaction because the teacher is going to ask the questions and the students are going to answer them. The skill that I chose was listening and speaking. Well, speaking will be the sub skill. The main skill is listening because they will have to pay a lot of attention in order to understand. And the level of Bloom's taxonomy is understanding because the students will interpret the information shown in the video in order to express their opinion. Why did I choose this as a warm up? Because I think that beyond keep talking about the use of must, I think that it is really important for them to get to know the term conviviality in order to to find out, in order to discover the importance of this conviviality inside the classroom. So I wanted to do it as a warm up. I didn't want to do a really, really structured warm up, like giving them some pieces of paper to fill up with the use of math, because I know that they have done it a lot. They have worked in math a lot, and they have do it all the time and with the teacher. So I thought that it would be a really good idea to change it a little bit. So that's why I chose this video as a warm up in order to get them into the topic. Now, the second stage is like the development of the classroom. Okay, so what they're going to do now is that they will get into groups, and these groups are going to be made randomly, because I think that is it would be useless if they have the chance to make the groups by themselves, because again they will be with the guys, with the girls that they like, and then the groups will be again separated, divided, and the activity will be useless. So there's this strategy that I learned in the university, that is like, you say like, hey guys, uh say like from 1 to 3. So 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, all the ones together, all the twos together, all the threes together. So in that way, they're not going to be the same groups all the time. So they will have to be together with all of her partners. So they're going to get into groups, and they will share some good experiences that they remember having together as a group. As I already told you, they have been together since seventh grade, which means that they have been together for 2 years and they know each other. And I really like to like to think, I really hope that there's gotta be some good moments that they have shared as a group. So maybe they could share these good experiences in order to realize that they are like all the same. Like so they shouldn't be worrying that much about the problems that they have, but they will be really concerned, more concerned about the, not concerned, but more focused about the good things than the bad things. So that's why I want them to talk about the good experiences that they had in common. Then they will have to come up with some ideas about what will be the musts of the class in order to have a good environment. For example, one of them could say like, we must respect the other's opinions, or we must help our partners when they have some problems. We must understand that sometimes people can have good or bad days. So that's the idea. They are going to come up with these ideas using the must, and then using the must to define some rules that are going to help to foster a really good relationship among them. And finally, they will have to develop a set of cohabitation rules. It will be like from 7 to 10 rules, no more. Though the task of the teacher will be that is not only to give them the vocabulary that they may need in order to write the rules correctly, but also to answer some questions that they may have in terms of the use of the modal verb for expressing advice and obligation. As I already mentioned, they have already worked on this before. So the only thing that she would have to do is like to remind them some small details about the use or about the structure. The interaction is going to be student-student, because they're going to be working in groups, and they're going to be using a lot of collaborative work because they have to work together. They're not going to work individually, but they're going to work as a group. And also teacher-student, because there's going to be a point in which they're going to have some questions, and the teacher is going to be there for helping them solve those questions. The skills and sub skills that I chose was speaking, because they're going to have to talk to each other to in order to come up with the cohabitation rules, and also writing, because they have to write them. So they're gonna have to write the rules, and then present them. But that's going to be like some sort of assessment part. So this goes after. In the Bloom's taxonomy part, I chose applying. because students will construct a set of rules in order to solve the problem of conviviality in the group. So they have to create something. It's not only about reflecting, it's not only about understanding, it's not only about giving opinion, it's about constructing something as a group. I said this may take 25 to 30 minutes. And the first activity, I forgot, the warm up is going to take from 8 to 10 minutes. That's the idea. I mean, the video is like 2 minutes long, so the idea is not that they talk like for 20 minutes. They have like from 8 to 10 minutes, and the other one is from 25 to 30. Now, the assessment part is going to be that students will have to present their set of cohabitation rules to all the groups. So, for example, the ones go in front of the classroom and say, like, we define these cohabitation rules, and the role of the teacher is that she's going to review the set of rules in order to identify whether the students use the modal verb correctly or not. She is not going to talk about the rule itself. She's not going to like, oh no, but this doesn't work, or no, but this is, I don't know, ridiculous or something. No, she's only going to talk about the structure of the sentence. So whether they use the must correctly or not, or if they use the vocabulary correctly or not. That's her function there. And the interaction would be like student student because they're going to show their other partners their rules, and also teacher student because teacher is going to correct the structure part of the rules. In the Bloom's taxonomy level, I chose evaluating because the teacher will assess the final product of the student. So here is not they already constructed set of cohabitation rules, so now they're going to be evaluated by the teacher, and also they're going to be evaluated by their fellow partners. So that's why I chose evaluating from the Bloom's taxonomy uh, chart. And this is going to take 10 minutes. As I already told you, the idea is not that they are going to be really concerned about the rule itself. It's just that they have to understand that all of them have different opinions and that they have to respect the rules that the other groups have created. And finally, for the closure, well, all the groups will present their set of rules, as I already said in the assessment part, and they're going to decide all together which ones of all the rules are the ones that fit best the interests of all students in the classroom. So, there's going to be like 4 or 5 groups. I think there's going to be four groups, and when all of them go, like all of them show their cohabitation rules, they're going to together as a group, they're going to choose 10 rules, 10 of all of the rules that they already have shown, which ones, like 10, a top 10, which ones are the best, like the ones that fit best for everybody. So in that way, they're going to get to a consensus and they're not going to be fighting all the time. So they're going to get to a consensus. And what they're going to do after is that they're going to put them on the wall right next to the achievement goals that proposed by the teacher. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but in every classroom, they have some achievement goals. So what they have for ninth grade is like being B1.2, almost B2, because they have to reach that level. So I think that it would be really interesting to put to put these rules next to the achievement goals, because that would be in some way an achievement goal at the end of the year. They we have to be able to achieve this good classroom environment. Okay, so the role of the teacher is that she is only going to be there in order to help them to get to a consensus. She's not going to be really involved in deciding the rules. She's going to be there just to mediating the situation. This is going to be a student-student interaction because all together are going to find out which rules are the ones that fit for all of them. And the skill is purely speaking, they're not going to have to listen to anything. I mean, they have to listen to the other partners, but that comes with speaking, with the oral interaction. And they're not going to have to write anything or read anything. So it's just speaking. And oh, again, for Bloom's taxonomy, I used evaluating because they're going to decide which rules work best for all the group. And I expect this to take 10 to 15 minutes, no more. So in that way, this will be a 60-minute class, like 60 to 70 tops minute class, no more. And well, as a plan B, I thought that it would be interesting to, this would be after the warm up and before the development stage. It would be like the teacher is going to give the students a situation in which there's a disorganized society. There's a society that is in chaos, and what they have to do is that they have to define basic rules for conviviality in order to help the community to thrive. That would be a student-student interaction. It would be speaking and writing. And for this, in Bloom's taxonomy, it would be like creating and evaluating because they have to agree on which set of rules they're going to construct in order to help the community. This is going to take 15 minutes. As I already said, is a plan B in case I notice that they are doing everything way too fast. Because what I have noticed in these girls is that even though they have these conviviality problems, they're really good in terms of English level. They are pretty smart. They are all the time really focused. But when it comes to work individually, but when they have to work like in collaborative work and teamwork, they have these problems because they don't like to work with each other. So I think that it would be good if the teacher puts an example of a society in chaos. They define the rules, and after that they're going to do the exact same activity but applying it to their actual context, that it would be like, well, the context in class. So this was my lesson plan. I hope that you have understand everything that I already said. I apologize because of my voice and my aspect. It's just that I have a terrible cold. I've been sick for the last 2 days, so I'm so sorry. I hope that you can understand everything. If you have any doubt, any question about anything that it shows up here in my lesson plan, please let me know. And well, that would be everything. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you have better great day.